When we think of World War II, we picture charging infantry, roaring tanks, and dogfights high above the clouds. But what if I told you that entire battles, entire wars, were decided not just by bullets, but by signals? Behind every successful landing, every airstrike, and every naval victory, there was someone hunched over a radio set, headphones on, fingers flying, the radio man. They didn't always carry the biggest guns, they didn't always get medals, but without them, armies went blind, fleets went silent, and missions collapsed into chaos. Today, we uncover the hidden heroes of World War II, the radiomen and signalmen who kept the war connected, coded, and coordinated across land, sea, and sky. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at World War II the same way again. What was a World War II radioman? A radioman, also known as a signalman in some branches, was the military's human communication hub. Their job included sending and receiving coded messages, operating radios under extreme conditions, using Morse code, often at high speed, repairing and maintaining fragile equipment, and, in many cases, fighting as gunners or infantry when needed. Unlike modern digital communication, World War II radios were heavy, fragile, short-range, vulnerable to weather, damage, and enemy interception. This meant radiomen had to be technicians, linguists, mathematicians, and soldiers all at once. Morse code, the language of war. Before satellites and encrypted apps, war spoke in dots and dashes. Morse code was faster than voice, harder to intercept clearly, and more reliable over long distances. Radiomen trained relentlessly, sometimes months just to master speed and accuracy. A single mistake, one wrong dash, one missed dot could mean the wrong coordinates, a delayed attack, or units moving into danger. Many radiomen could hear Morse code like music, instantly translating sound into meaning even through static, explosions, and engine noise. This skill alone made them irreplaceable. Army radiomen, the frontline connection. In the U.S. Army, radiomen were often attached directly to infantry platoons, artillery units, command posts near the front. They carried backpack radios weighing 30 to 40 pounds with large antennas, spare batteries, handsets, and repair tools. Their responsibilities were calling in artillery support, relaying orders from commanders, and reporting enemy movements. Because of their importance, radiomen were often prime targets. If communication went down, the unit was isolated. Despite this, they stayed close to officers, moving when told, transmitting under pressure, often while under fire. Without Army radiomen, coordinated ground warfare would have been impossible. Navy radiomen, the voice of the fleet. At sea, communication was life itself. U.S. Navy radiomen served aboard battleships, aircraft carriers, submarines, and destroyers. Their duties included handling encrypted fleet messages, transmitting orders across vast oceans, and maintaining constant radio watch day and night. Naval radiomen worked closely with code systems, especially as the Allies fought to protect their communications from interception. On submarines, silence was survival. Radiomen often transmitted messages in short, carefully timed bursts to avoid detection. And when battles erupted, many Navy radiomen abandoned radios, manned anti-aircraft guns, and helped with damage control. They weren't just communicators, they were sailors first. Army Air Forces, radiomen in the sky. One of the most dangerous roles belonged to Army Air Forces radiomen. Inside bombers like the B-17 Flying Fortress, radiomen handled long-range communication, relayed navigation updates, sent distress signals, and managed formation coordination. But here's the part many don't realize: they were also gunners. Radiomen often operated top turret guns, side-mounted defensive guns. So, while sending coded messages, they might suddenly be tracking enemy fighters, defending the aircraft, switching instantly between radio and weapon. High altitude, freezing temperatures, constant vibration, and enemy attacks made their job terrifyingly complex. They were the nervous system of the bomber crew. Equipment, maintenance, and pressure. World War II radios were not plug and play. Radiomen had to fix damaged wiring, adjust frequencies manually, replace vacuum tubes, and keep equipment working in mud, salt water, heat, and cold. There was no backup signal tower, no GPS, no instant retry. If the radio failed, they were the backup. This technical responsibility made radiomen some of the most highly trained enlisted personnel in the war. Why radiomen were so important. Every major World War II success depended on communication: D-Day landings, carrier battles in the Pacific, strategic bombing campaigns, coordinated troop movements. Radiomen made command and control possible. They turned chaos into coordination, distance into connection, and silence into survival. World War II wasn't just won by firepower, it was won by information, and the radiomen were the ones who carried it. So next time you see a World War II photograph, look past the weapons and ask yourself who was keeping them connected. If you found this story insightful, let me know in the comments which branch's radiomen surprised you the most: Army, Navy, or Air Forces. And if you enjoy uncovering the untold roles of military history, make sure to subscribe because the quiet heroes deserve to be remembered.